Good evening, and thank you once again for joining me on Politics Tonight. In the upcoming election, there is one candidate who has been creating quite an impression by her unorthodox presentation. I'm very glad to say that she's here tonight. Welcome.
Thank you, it's a pleasure to be here.
Let's start at the beginning. In this election, you have styled yourself the honest politician. That's quite a claim. Some people would even say radical.
I think if you're asking people to vote for you, then it is wrong to be anything other than honest with them.
That's good to hear. Nevertheless, you have been making some extraordinary campaign pledges. Let me remind you of just some of the promises you have made, taken directly from your own campaign speeches. Increased spending on schools, an improved health service, better roads, 100% renewable energy within 2 years. And doing all this whilst also reducing taxes and solving the national debt. These are a truly remarkable set of promises. Just how do you intend to increase spending on the one hand, whilst on the other also reduce government revenue without increasing borrowing? Something which even a schoolboy economist will tell you is a financial impossibility.
Nobody can do that, obviously.
So you agree that your whole campaign promises are nothing but a tissue of lies?
No, not at all. I stand by my campaign pledges.
But you've just told me here in this studio, in front of this audience, not 1 minute ago, that it is not possible to implement your campaign pledges should you come to power.
Absolutely, I have no intention of following up on my campaign pledges.
So you admit, once again, in front of this audience, that you do not intend to honour your campaign pledges?
No, of course not. Why would you think that I would?
Why would I think that you would? Isn't that what people expect? That candidates make pledges that they are going to keep?
I don't think so, no. I'm pretty sure you'll find that when people hear politicians make campaign pledges, they don't expect politicians to actually deliver on them.
Of course they do.
I don't think so. Shall we find out?
Find out? Find out how?
Shall we ask the audience?
What?
Can I get your opinion? When you hear a politician make all sorts of promises in order to get your votes, do you really expect that they're going to deliver on those promises once they get to power?
No.
You see? People do not expect politicians to honour their campaign promises.
That is no excuse for you lying to the people.
I'm not lying to the people, I'm being completely honest.
You are giving them promises even though you know you have no intention of keeping them. Isn't that lying?
No, that's what the other politicians do. I'm doing the complete opposite.
What?
The other politicians, they're making promises and telling people that they'll deliver on them, even though inside themselves they know that that isn't true. Which is, I think you would agree, being dishonest.
Yes, of course.
On the other hand, I am making campaign promises which everybody already knows that I'm not going to keep, and I'm telling them that I'm not going to keep them. This is the complete opposite from the politicians. So, if they are dishonest, and I am the complete opposite, then that must make me...
Honest? How can that make you honest?
Well, what else could it be?
It can be anything other than honest.
Let's put it another way. Say there was a running race, and all of the competitors are on performance-enhancing drugs. All of them. And everybody knows it. The competitors all know it, the commentators know, the judges, the crowd, everybody. Okay? So, now suppose we start going down the competitors and asking them whether they take drugs. No, says the first, no, says the second, then no, no, no. Until we get to the last one and they say, yes, I'm taking them. Everybody knows that. Which one is the honest competitor? It's the last one, and that is what I am doing, and that is why I am the honest politician.
I feel like I've fallen down the rabbit hole. If you are honestly lying, why bother making campaign pledges at all?
In order to give people a reason to vote for me.
But they know you are lying.
They know everybody is lying. But I'm the one that is honest enough to admit it. And surely you owe people honesty.
But where will this end? You could just promise anything.
You mean a dishonest politician could promise that they'd give everybody a Lamborghini or something?
Exactly.
No, that wouldn't work.
Why not?
Nobody would believe them.
But you just said that nobody believes you.
No, people do believe me. People believe that these are my campaign pledges, and they also believe me when I tell them that I'm not going to deliver on my campaign pledges.
In all my 10 years of presenting this programme, in my 15 years of political journalism, this is the most bizarre campaign I have ever come across.
It's the world we live in.
But how? If what you say is true, how did we ever get into such a situation?
Well, I think you can take credit for that.
Me?
Not just you, you and other members of the media.
How?
I'm not saying you haven't done a fantastic job, because you have. Very impressive.
What job?
Your job of calling politicians to account.
What's that got to do with getting us into this situation?
Well, how many times have you had a minister sitting here so you could perform an interrogation on them on, you said you'd do this, but instead you did that?
Well, I've been doing this show for 10 years.
Exactly, and you're a master interrogator. We've all seen them sweating and squirming and trying to talk their way out of it, but there was no way getting anything past you.
It was never about making them sweat. It was about getting the truth out to the public. It was not letting them get away with pulling wool over our eyes by saying one thing and then going off and doing something completely different.
Absolutely. And after 10 years, the public have got the message. You've proven to the people that politicians are unreliable, that they say things just to get elected, and that they have no intention of delivering on them. And the public are convinced. So now when they hear politicians say these things, they don't believe them. I guess you could say you've won. Mission accomplished. Congratulations.
But I haven't won. What I've done could never have linked to this.
It's pretty much cause and effect, wouldn't you say? I mean, if this were an animal show, and every monkey you put in front of the camera bit you, your viewers would still steer well clear of monkeys.
But that was never the intention.
Well, here we are.
What can we do?
Not much. It's a bit late to change things now. It's not going to do much for your show, you know.
Why not? Why shouldn't it make any difference?
Well, how are you going to interrogate people?
Well, there will still be politicians. They will still need to be held to account. The public still needs to know. They will still rely on my programme to tell them.
Really? Do you think so?
Of course.
Shall we give it a try?
Give it a try. What do you mean?
Let's imagine that I've been elected and 6 months later I'm sitting here on your show ready to be called to account. You can start. You ask your first question.
But I don't know what your policies are. I don't know what you've done or not done. How can I question you?
Just make something up. Accuse me of something. Challenge my record. Do what you do.
Well, this has just been a quite fantastical evening already, so why not? Minister, Prime Minister, you said before the election that you would be delivering better roads, but since then you have done nothing. A recent report shows transport infrastructure to be at the worst condition that it's ever been. What do you have to say to that?
I don't think the people elected me expecting major improvements on the road.
But this was an explicit election pledge, and one on which you've done nothing whatsoever.
That's right, yes.
So you admit that you have misled and betrayed the people that put you into power.
No, I don't think I gave any expectation that there would be major road improvements.
Despite the fact that this is what you said.
Yes.
And that is because you don't expect people to believe what you say.
No, of course not.
I see. Well, how do you account for the fact that, despite not mentioning it before you came to power, that you have increased child benefit?
We think that people will benefit from increased child benefit.
even though you didn't mention it before you came to power.
Did you believe that, as we hadn't said anything about it, that we wouldn't do anything?
No, I guess not.
So you see, you've attacked me for doing things that I said I would do, and you've attacked me for doing things that I didn't say I would do. Have you got anywhere?
No, not really.
No cut and thrust, no squirming, no sweating.
But you just told me that I should not believe you. It's hopeless. It's like I'm the one who's being unreasonable. Okay. Tell me this. If we can't judge you by whether you are doing what you were promised, doing what you promised, how are we supposed to know whether you are doing a good job?
You'll have to consider what I do.
And not what you say.
Exactly. People don't believe what I say, so what I say doesn't matter.
So, what will become of my programme? Will I just be sitting here reading out a list of things that you have done?
You could do. I'm sure you would do it very well, but I'm not sure you'd get much of an audience.
No. So, that would be the end of Politics Tonight.
Shame.
Yes, quite a shame. But before we end, perhaps bringing down the curtain on this show, I do have a final question for you.
Anything. Ask away.
If you are elected, will you govern in the interests of the people or in the interests of your own power and political career? Before you answer, don't tell me, tell them.
Okay. If you elect me to power, I will govern in the interests of the people and not for my own power or political career.
Honestly?
Honestly.
I'm not sure I believe that.